It was a great episode.
This really makes me want to spin off of the Mitchell brothers. I could watch them.
So good.
Hi, and welcome back to a podcast above a convenience store, Talking Twin Peaks. I'm Joe Fremming from the Joe Down. With me, as always, is Paul Muad'Dib from Cast That Movie. Paul, how are you doing?
He's dead.
Dirty bearded men in a room.
Dirty bearded man in a room. He's dead. He's dead.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. What are you doing? I'm trying to get home. We're already late. We're late for dinner. It's way past 6:30. Why is this happening? I saw that gun go through the window. Her uncle is joining us. She hasn't seen him in a very long while. We're late. We got miles to go. Please, we have to get home. He's sick. That's
a Karen on steroids, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
We're talking Twin Peaks: The Return, part 11. There's fire where you are going. This is another episode's pushing the narrative forward. Strangely enough, we don't get any Mr. C in this one.
No, we do not. Which was interesting. This still moved the story a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, it spent a lot of time in Twin Peaks, which was kind of nice. Not nice for poor Becky, Shelley, and Bobby, but still, this is probably the most we've had of Twin Peaks in a lot, and almost all the episodes.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with that. This was very, I felt Twin Peaks centered, except for a few things in Buckhorn.
Yep.
And Las Vegas.
Yeah, the Vegas at the end. I love the ending of this episode, but before we get there, we have to spend some time in Twin Peaks. As the episode opens, we got some kids playing catch. And they come across a beaten up and bloody Miriam.
Yeah, she lived. She doesn't have an eye, but she lived. And how far did she crawl?
Yeah, I mean, an eye patch will take care of the eye thing. But yeah, she survived. Richard's plan didn't. I mean, he turned on that gas. I think he assumed that if you just keep gas on, something's going to explode, but it needs something to ignite it. So, but we have never accused of Richard Horn of being bright.
No, he's not, and we'll learn more of that. But yeah, we know he's not bright. I can't wait till we get more into that.
Yeah, I do it's nice to see because we've had some pretty traumatized. Last episode was pretty traumatizing with the citizens of Twin Peaks. Miriam for one. Sylvia and Johnny Horn. So it's nice to see at least she's bloody and beaten, but she's alive, and that's not good for Richard.
No, that's not good for Richard at all. I like he's in trouble. He's gonna be in some serious trouble. But we don't know where he is. We haven't seen him, right? We have not caught up with Richard since he knocked off his grandma.
Yeah. Yep. And so we now go back to Fat Trout Trailer Park. Becky is she's freaking out. She's mad at Steven.
Mm-hmm. She's pissed at Steven. Which I at first I thought it was about, we saw Miriam and I was like, okay, and thought she was about Miriam, right? And no, we find out that that she's pissed. She calls her mom, Shelley, who takes off. Man, let me just say Norma's the most patient woman of all time. Let me just say that, because there's so many times where like any other boss would have fired the shit out of her, right? So I thought that was really interesting. So then we see Becky cuts back to Becky grabbing a gun, and Shelly comes driving up, and Shelly's on the hood of the car, man. I had to laugh my ass off on that.
Yeah. Yeah, Becky just steals her mom's car. Shelly jumps on the hood to try to stop her. Doesn't work because Becky uh, fishtails the truck car to an extent to like whip her off the hood. Like, oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And poor Carl, he sees this. He comes walking over. Make sure
Carl's seeing things. Carl's saying things.
he's like, well, I think he walks over and the first thing he says is, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he lets Shelly know that there's been trouble in the trailer as he uses his magic whistle to summon his ride.
Right. Yeah,
He has
that was
a hell
that
of
was
an
hilarious.
He has a hell of an Uber call, man.
That was hilarious. Oh yes. Very much enjoyed that. And then he's also got in his magical ride, he's got a CB radio to the police.
Yeah, he gets Maggie. Once again, the actress is my brother's cousin on the horn to Bobby. Let him know that Shelly and had an encounter with Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby, she's got a gun, which is, he's law enforcement. Even though that one time he killed a cop.
He killed a cop with a gun.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And then she enters we get back to her at this what I looked like a house at first, right? Like with the way the
yeah.
angle was, and we find out it's an apartment building. I thought she went to someone's house, and she's banging on the door, and the neighbor's like, you can't be here, and she
Okay.
she shoots like she unloads the gun in the door, and then we get a scene of back at the Twin Peaks Sheriff's Office. What address yet? Uh-huh. Okay, we got someone coming. Twin Peaks Sheriff's Office. Where you at? Uh-huh. We have someone coming, and there's all these calls. Oh my God, I was giggling at that.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of gunfire going off at once. I mean, I'm sure just about everyone in that building was calling 911, except for the two people she was looking for who are cowering in down the stairs, where we see Steven and, for the first time since 1990, Gersten Hayward.
Yes. How shocking was that, right? I mean, I didn't recognize her at first. I think we both talked about this before. We didn't recognize her. We had to wait till the credits came in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we haven't seen her since she was Donna's little sister at
Yep.
that little recital where Leland has his white hair and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was and not Harriet, the one that helped her sneak out, but the little one, the little one.
Yep, she played the piano.
She played the piano. Yep. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wyatt. How the mighty have fallen. And now we go to Buckhorn, South Dakota, where Cole, Tammy, Albert, Diane, Bill Hastings, and the sheriff pull up to the creepiest house in the creepiest lot you
Oh
could
my.
think of in all the Dakotas.
Oh, okay. So I want to talk about this because just recently I had my wife watch John Carpenter's Vampire. Never seen it before. And at the very beginning of the movie, they pull up to this dilapidated house in New Mexico, and they're well, what do you think this is it? Yep, this looks like a nest. Like it's just this beaten down. That's exactly what that reminded me of. Was like, ooh, nothing good is gonna come from this property.
Yeah, we find this is well. First they ask Hastings how this is where he saw Briggs. He agrees. then they ask, well, how did you get in? So we kind of have a little inkling that Cole and Albert know exactly what this is. Uh,
Mhm.
he went under the fence, walked 15, 20 feet, and then he blacks out. And
Yeah.
then Cole and Albert see a woodsman behind the house, lurking
Oh,
about.
lurking. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Right.
Yeah.
Creepy, creepy shit. And we notice that Mackley doesn't see him, but we catch a glimpse that Diane also sees him, right?
Yeah.
And Tammy doesn't see shit either.
Yeah. Tammy doesn't, and this is one of those things where I think you have to have encountered these entities or a lodge at some point to see these things. Tammy hasn't, and Mackley haven't, but we'll know from Diane has a history with Blue Rose, Cole and
Mhm.
Albert, and Hastings was actually in uh, a lodge or a portal at one point, so he can see them too.
Yes. Yep. Yep. So, so yeah, then we get this weird effect, right? So Cole walks in, and he goes a little bit farther in than Albert, and we see this whirlwind effect in the sky, and it looks so bizarre, right?
Yeah, it's
Um,
pretty. It's
it's
trippy.
it's really really trippy. That's the best way to describe it. And he kind of puts his hands up in the air, and
He's walking in place too.
yeah,
Like he just kind of stops moving, but his feet are walking like he's walking, which is so he hits a portal.
hmm yeah. He definitely hits the portal, and what he sees, in the swirling and the whirling, and he sees what I assume is the convenience store.
Yes, well, it is. I'll just confirm that because we see this later with Mister C. That is, I believe, one of the ways to get to the convenience store. I think like these things are the convenience store is the meeting place of all these entities from their little worlds. So I think this is one way. He sees the woodsman. Then Albert sees Cole almost vanishing, so he steps in. So like this gives us an inkling that this isn't their first rodeo with this sort of thing.
Right.
That's why he stood back so he could not allow Cole to be consumed by it.
Yeah, and yeah, the way again, this goes back to I wanted to see the Albert Cole files, man. That's so brilliant, so
Yeah.
brilliant.
Oh,
Um,
that was so good, wouldn't it?
oh, it'd be so good. It'd be so good. So yeah, he pulls him back, and I forget what he says, but then we get some weird shit. Diane sees the guy kind of sneaking by the car, and all of a sudden we hear Mackley go, "Oh my God!" Um, and that
This
is
is as Albert and Cole are inspecting a headless body.
body. Yes, which they know is Rose Davenport. She has the coordinates on her hand. Um, um, and
Yeah, Diane's watching this. As they're doing this, Diane's watching this woodsman walk up to the car. Doesn't say anything.
no, she doesn't say shit, right?
And then Bill's head explodes.
Yeah, and the way it does, right? Like that was really good effects. Like for how hokey some of the effects are, um, it was awesome. I mean, I thought it was a great effect.
Oh yeah, it was very it's jarring. We saw in part 8 that the woodsmen like to crush heads or at least explode them at some or they don't like heads is my understanding. Bill's
Yeah,
head explodes and Mackley
yeah.
comes in for a backup.
Yes, he calls for backup. To which point, Cole makes the obvious statement: he's dead.
Did you catch the address?
Sycamore.
Yeah.
Yes.
2240 Sycamore.
2240 Sycamore. Absolutely. Absolutely. So awesome. So awesome. I thought that was a really cool keep up, of it. Kind of keeping it in that Sycamore thing, and definitely was symbolic. There's no question about it. So, then we cut back to the double R, and boy, shit is tense between Bobby and Shelley, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's palpable.
Yeah. These two are not together anymore. Doesn't surprise me. They weren't very good together back in the original run. So, yeah, but they have a child together. There are Bobby had to pull some strings because otherwise Becky would have been arrested. And he tells her that she's going to have to pay for the door that she destroyed with her gun. And she gets all upset about that. Like, why should I have to pay for it? Well, Becky, because you put 10 slugs into it.
That was so brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah, she's just so obstinate in my mind. She's just so doesn't understand it. What she's doing. I think that's part of I think it's the drugs, really. I mean, she's not thinking clearly, and she doesn't want to get a divorce because Bobby's like, you have to get a divorce. Like, I haven't put him away. I could put him away for so many things, but I've been waiting for you to get your head out of your ass. Basically, is what he says to her, and she doesn't get it. So there's that. And then deja vu. Red shows up, and
Oh.
and that's what I'm saying. She brought everyone to okay. Again, Norma is an angel. Is the patience of a saint. She brought her drama into her job at the Double R, and then proceeds to leave that drama to make out with a drug dealer, adding more drama. And all Norma's sitting there doing is just checking receipts and just watching.
It's the most Midwest response, isn't it? Just like, that's not my business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely.
But you can see Becky she seems generally concerned because Bobby, he doesn't seem to take this all well. It seems like he still has like some feelings for Shelley. But luckily his depression is cut short as a gunshot goes off from the outside and a bullet goes into the Double R.
Holy fuck. And Jesus Christ. I think there's no question about it. This is David Lynch's view on gun control. Because what occurs here is we find out that a redneck dad put a gun in a box and had it in the front seat unlocked. And so the mom didn't know what it was. She moved to the back. Their 8-year-old or 6-year-old got a hold of the gun and fired it through the fucking window while they're stopped at a red light. Wow. Did I miss anything on that? Did I miss anything on that, Joe?
No, that's exactly what happened. And I was happy to see as Bobby runs. He still has that gray flannel he had from the original show underneath his leather jacket.
Yes.
Man, hey, all the power to him, man.
Yeah, and then we get Officer Holcomb, who's weird. Officer Holcomb's weird, isn't he?
Yeah, and we don't get much explanation why. He's just an awkward dude.
Very
he comes
awkward.
later with Truman, which is another weird scene. But yeah, he comes and he's like, I was at Big Ed's gas farm. I heard shots. I came here. Like, even Bobby's like,
uh-huh. you sure did.
Oh, and I do like Bobby looks at the kid who shot the gun, and he's just like, little dickhead. Looks like he's giving like a tough look, like he doesn't give a shit that he shot a gun off.
Yeah, like a little Damien.
Yeah, not even that. He's not like he's just like a cocky little shit, you know. He's just like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It was so great. I loved it. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. The whole thing, and then you get the girl throwing up. Now this is where I thought, um, where the drugs were going to come into play. You know what I mean? Because it was that scene. It was like a zombie with the girl sick throwing up, right?
Yeah. See, my view is like I talked about it a little bit. I think last episode is the sickness is infecting Twin Peaks, and that girl is kind of like symbolic of that. She's got like the green shit coming out of her mouth, and she's like a zombie rising. Like I don't think that's the drugs. I think that's just the poison of the Black Lodge and Mr. C being out of it. Now it's spreading into the city and it's spreading into the people of the world.
Yeah, and I can follow that now. You know what I mean? I can see where you're coming from with that, and I think it's a great theory, and a great idea. Because yeah, I mean, we do know it's all getting fucked up, right?
Yeah. I mean, the girl, she seems a little young for the drugs thing, but the drugs are not helping, as we have seen with Becky and Steven. The drugs, I think, are pushing it. I agree. I think the drugs are entwined with it, like as part of like this poisoning of our world at the hands of Mr. C. But it's just it's a jarring scene though. That girl is the vomit. It's like the vomit gets on like the old woman's arm and she starts screaming like ah,
Yeah,
ah!
yeah. That actress was amazing. Great find by Lynch, by the way. Yeah. Um, yeah, that whole scene was just like I said, it was weird, and I really thought it was going to go somewhere when I watched it for the first time. So, when I watched it this time around, it was like, okay, I get it. All right, cool. Um,
Yeah, because it kind of goes hand in hand with Sky Fiera's like rashy girl. Like something's not right in Twin Peaks, and it's the drugs, I think, and it's just like the sickness is just kind of spreading now, and we'll see it again. Later in another Roadhouse scene with a woman gets sick at the Roadhouse and just falls to the floor and crawling. So I think this is all like connected.
hmm Yeah, yes, I completely agree. So, yes, I follow what you're saying now. I'm watching it the second time. I see what you're seeing there, and it makes total sense to me. So, yeah. Um, so then we talked about it a little bit. Hawk and Frank are looking over the coordinates of where, or the destination, that Major Briggs gave them, and where Jackrabbit Palace is. And Hawk has this map, and he makes the comment that it's a living map, that it's always changing. I thought that, why did we not know about this map 25 years ago when they're looking for fucking Owl Cave?
They didn't ask. No, I think and I think that Michael Horst didn't make that map for the show, uh, with Lynch's input because you have to add some of that stuff. But I think he made that. I believe I could be wrong,
Oh,
but I think I
cool.
read something that he actually made that. The map is cool. So Truman and him are going over it, and yeah, it's a trippy concept. Like it's always changing. So like I'd like to imagine like he opens it up and things shift. Again, he's not telling anybody because they've never asked him.
Right, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a good point. Good point. So we get some really interesting takes on it. You got the campfire that represents modern day energy, such as electricity, and
Yes.
which we know what that means. And then you have the corn, but it's black. So that represents death. So when the two are combined, it creates black fire, which to me means the Black Lodge.
Yes, I agree. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then we see the symbol of the card.
Yeah, the
That
Judy symbol. I'll
the
just call it.
yeah, the Judy symbol. And we think we're getting an explanation of that, and we hear, nope, you don't want to know about that.
Yeah, you
No,
don't ever want to know about that. Like
yeah,
that's the worst case scenario in Hawk's world.
no, Hawk, I do want to know. I do want to know, Cock. I do. Um,
Nope, you don't want to know.
yeah, right. I do want to know. I do want to know.
But it's like wondering about the dancing butthole and pink flamingos. You just don't want to know.
Yeah,
It happened, and it's there, and you don't want to tell anybody else about it.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, um, then Lucy tells Hawk that Margaret's on the phone, and there's fire where you're going,
Yep.
and that tells Hawk that what's on the map is what it should be.
Yep. And then this is interrupted by Jesse again because he wants Frank to see his new car.
That's so funny. Do you want to see my car? Do you want to see my car?
Oh, I'll look at it tomorrow.
I'll look at it tomorrow. I'll look at it tomorrow. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So then that's where we ends that. We get Gordon's fucked up from that event, right?
Yeah. His right hand shaking like how, or not his. I don't know. I don't remember what hand, but it's shaking like in the season 2 finale when everybody's hand started shaking at the double R.
Yes. Yep. You caught that too. Okay, good. Which pretty much means that everyone was in contact at that point in my mind. Really interesting. Albert, they have this picture of the coordinates. Well, I should get back to yes. And Diane is reading or is memorizing the numbers, and Albert takes quick note of that.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, I think, the last few numbers were blurry on purpose from Albert because they wanted to see how Diane was going to react. Because I think it was last episode, maybe the episode before, they were aware of her texts with Mr. C.
Yes.
And then it's like, he catches her and he's like, I know, fuck you, Albert. And she responds, that's right, fuck you, Albert.
Fuck you, Albert. That will
With
never get old.
whole Albert mysteries, can we have Diane in there too, just to tell them fuck you to both of them throughout? Oh God,
So great, right? I love that dynamic between them, and then they talk about how Cole and Albert saw the woodsman, and then Diane said she might have seen them exiting the car. And I was like, no, you saw one entering the car, you liar.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you saw one entering the car, you fucking liar. So, yeah.
yeah. But then Cole admits he saw them in a room, dirty bearded men in a room.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. And that is where they cut there to we're back at the insurance company, and Bushnell calls in Dougie.
Yeah.
Phil has to take him.
Yeah, well, he guides him in there with the coffee. I mean, I think he's figured out how to get Dougie to move around.
Yeah, I love that. And so Dougie eventually gets in there, and we find out that through the weird efforts that Dougie was drawing on those things, he found out that our Mitchum brothers was indeed needed a $30 million payout. And we learned that he did the old Bushnell double down and took an insurance out on that insurance and made a shit ton of money.
I don't know. I don't understand how insurance works, but that seems sketchy as fuck.
Right. Right. And
Dougie righted the wrong on their behalf.
yes. So he thinks that, they want to meet him. He says that they called looking for him, and he's going to send him with the $30 million check, and they're going to be super happy. We cut to, I love these guys. I do.
Again, I want to spin off of these guys too. If there's like 2 spin-offs, Cole and Albert and the Mitchum brothers.
Yes. And we see him eating cornflakes. Candy comes over. He'll be right out of the bathroom. And and he tells him that he had a dream about killing Dougie Jones, and he hates that fuck. He can't wait to kill him. And he's like, "Can you wait 3 hours?" Barely. These guys are just awesome. So yeah, I fucking love that.
Yeah, their interaction between those two. Later on, like I think it's toward the end. They have it's like, what kind of fucking neighborhood is this when a shootout happens? Like they just happen to be there. It's one of the best lines for me. But before we get to that, we got Dougie being let out of the building by Bushnell for his encounter with the Mitchum brothers, and we see Mike in a superimposed over the pastry shop.
Yes, and he's waving him into the pie shop, right? And he's like, "Dougie, Bushnell's like, Dougie, where you going? It's 5:30." Comes out with a giant box, right? Just like comically large. Remind me of the box from Seven.
That's what I was thinking too. Especially when this ends up in the middle of a desert.
Exactly. I was expecting a head or something. Something fucked up. That was brilliant. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Bushnell makes sure he has the check, and he has his box, and gets him in the limo. The limo driver recognizes him. Red door. He's the one who dropped Dougie off after he won. He fleeced the Mitchum brothers' casino.
Oh, God. Right? Holy fuck. Where are they going? Where were you taking them? What did he say? Stefano's or something?
Yeah, it's like, so it sounds like a nice restaurant or something.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we get a cover of Viva Las Vegas as Dougie's being driven through the strip. And it's just like, it reminds me just like, yeah, Vegas is such a sleazy town. Like, I've been to those places. I've been to Vegas twice, and it's just, I don't gamble, so it's not a whole lot of, it's me basically hitting up the cheap buffets.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And so we see real quick that that's not where they're going. Right.
No, he starts driving out into the desert.
Yeah.
Where we see Bradley and Rodney in a car in their limo, talking. And it's funny because now Bradley has the cold feet. He's like, I don't know if we can kill this guy. Where Rodney's like, he's like, we got to rid ourselves of this asshole.
Right. Absolutely. And so they're waiting in the desert for him, and they want. While they're driving to the spot, I want to take that back because we do see Rodney and Bradley driving, and he's, Bradley I'm just gonna say fucking Jim Belushi says, I had that dream, and your bandage was healed, and he's like, come here. It's not a dream. I was like, holy shit, you weirdo.
Oh, and now we're seeing, this is him. So the lodge, in the original run, gave Cooper hints and clues to help him out. And now they're kind of doing it too, but with like 2-bit Vegas criminals to keep Cooper alive. Takes off the Band-Aid, and the cut is fully healed, like in Bradley's dream. And he's like, he's there. There's more, but he can't remember it.
Yes, he can't remember it. Is driving him crazy. And but he doesn't care. Rodney doesn't give a fuck. Rodney just wants to kill him, right?
And the guy's got so much money.
Yeah. And so eventually they get there. And and like Bradley's like, wait, don't go yet. It's like, he's got a box. In my dream, he had a box. And he's like, if what I think is in that box, if it's what is from my dream is in that box, we can't kill him. And Bradley's like, what? Fuck you. He just thinks this is batshit talk. He's like, it's 1 in a million. It's 1 in a million. And he's like, but if it's in there, it's in there. And he whispers to him. And Rodney looks like he's just gonna walk up and shoot him, right?
Yeah.
And no, what go for it. What's in the box?
Rodney walks up and he's like, is that a cherry pie? To which Cooper, who is suffering from repeating everybody's words back at him, says, cherry pie. And Bradley's eyes is like, get as wide as dinner plates. He runs over, opens the box, and lo and behold, a cherry pie.
And that changes everything, right? Yeah. And meaning that, he's not their enemy. This isn't his enemy. And Rodney has him frisk him. And what do they find, Joe?
The $30 million check that they were owed from their insurance company. Dougie has pulled through for the Mitchum brothers.
Right. So interesting, right? And I just thought that was great. Like, oh my gosh, how he does this is awesome. You know what I mean? And so they are ecstatic. They got the 30 million. Now they're in love. They wanted to kill him, and immediately Bradley's like, I love this guy. And next we cut to them. What I'm assuming is the restaurant they were going to go to in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest. There is nothing coming from Dougie at all. And they are just reading a whole bunch of shit from him that's just not there. You know what I mean?
It's weird because it picks up mid-conversation about the gym set. So it's almost like Dougie was talking about a gym set, even though we know he wasn't.
Yeah.
They're just talking to themselves through Dougie. They have a line where it's like, kid has no gym set. Even a fucking orphanage has a gym set.
It's so interesting. And then he hears this music play, and he turns over, and he's looking, and we know who that is. That's what
the old woman who she won.
Yep.
Her life changed around because he pointed her in the direction of the slot machine that was going to win.
Yep, the homeless lady.
Yeah, when he was fleecing the casino.
Yeah. He's staring at the piano guy, which is Angelo. That's the name I was looking for. That's Angelo. And they bring over this cherry pie, and everyone's loving the cherry pie. You see Dougie light up from the cherry pie, and he's almost done, and they're trying to get Candy, where were you? Yeah, Candy, Mandy, and Sandy show up.
Yeah, he's just shoveling that pie in his face, and he's happy. Dougie Jones loves his sweets. His sweet is what we're getting. They're eating the pie, and we get the little bit of fan service here where Rodney says, damn good pie. And then Cooper just, damn good, shovels more pie in his face.
Yeah. And They have another toast, and every time he goes to toast, he tries to grab Rodney's drink, and they're like, no, Dougie. No, Dougie.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing because I like how Lynch and Frost did this because the Mitchum brothers weren't very likable characters when we first meet them, and then gradually over like as it progresses, like they become like a comedy duo. At that one point when we had Sizemore with them,
Yes.
they're exasperated with Candy, and now like we've come full circle where like these homicidal gangsters aren't that bad.
No, for homicidal gangsters, they're not bad. So
Plus, Dougie also took care of Spike for him.
He did take care of Mike the Spike for us. So awesome. So awesome. And that's where it ends. And we just see Angelo playing the sad song on the piano.
That's not the Angelo who composes the music. It's just a piano player.
No, that is Angelo.
That's not Angelo Badalamenti. That is not.
That's what he's credited as.
I don't believe so. Is he?
Yeah, he's the piano
player doesn't look anything like him.
That's who the piano player is credited as, at least in the credits I saw. Yeah.
I'm looking at the credits for the episode.
Oh no, you're right.
Smokey Miles.
Yeah. Smokey Miles. My bad.
Yep.
My bad. Yes.
Yeah, because when I first saw it, I thought that too, and then like I got corrected pretty quickly on Facebook. So yeah, no. Angelo composed the music, but that guy just played it in that scene.
All right, got it.
And this episode has no in memory of either.
Nope, no in memory of, which is sad, because I think there could have been, but
yeah, I think they chose specific episodes. I think the next one in memory of is going to be probably the most tough. Yeah, that'll be a one.
Yeah, that will be rough. That will be rough. So overall, this was a fairly straightforward episode compared to what we normally get. What's your take on it?
I like it. Again, it's straightforward. We get a little more info and background on these lodges or portals. We get, and we're not beat over the head with the information. Like we can just glean from Albert and Cole's how Albert just let Cole go in and he stood back because he didn't want both of them to get sucked into that thing. So we know this isn't the first time they've encountered this on their Blue Rose cases. And except for Mike, there's really not a lot of surreal moments in this for a show that's pretty surreal. You get the pukey sick girl, but that's more creepy than weird. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. It was just. I thought it was just a very standard. Actually, very straightforward episode for the most part. That's what I thought.
Yeah. I enjoy it. It's moving the plot forward. Again, the highlight for me is the Mitchum brothers. It's just, and then Candy just trying to grab her attention for the pie, and she's as spaced out as Dougie is, and which is like a funny. Just he's sitting there staring off into space while three women behind him are doing the exact same thing.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It was funny. I loved it. I like that whole side of the table is just out of their mind, and it's like everything's just being moved forward by them talking to themselves through Rodney and Bradley.
Oh, yep. Overall, I enjoy it. It's not my favorite episode of this run, but it has its moments I enjoy a lot.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. Um, it was it not again, yeah, not the greatest, but was very. I enjoyed it. Right. I thought it was moving everything forward. Super interesting. So yeah, that's I have to say that that's the case, and I think next one is the one that I think uh is I mean, I know that when this particular episode came out, episode 11, people thought it was a lot of meandering, and they felt the next episode was a lot of meandering as well. We'll get to that. But I am really looking forward to the next episode and discussing it. There's actually things I really like in that episode. I don't know why people thought it was meandering. Um, because I thought there was a lot of development in that. That's me. That's me.
I just think people aren't used to Lynch's pacing, so they think a
Mhm.
lot of this is moving slowly, and it's just this. This is like if you're familiar with his movies and stuff, this is more par for the course. The original run of Twin Peaks being a little more snappy and stuff, that was kind of more strange for Lynch than anything.
Yes. Yeah, and there's I don't want to get into it ahead of time because I do remember the next episode. I do remember episode 12 because there was two big things that happened in that episode that made me remember it. And I think you know the two things I'm talking about.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, obviously I know because I've seen it before. All right. And with that, that's the end of There's a Fire Where You Are Going, part 11 of The Return. All right, Paul, what do you have coming up?
So as we talked about, we're going to be starting the second season of Cast That Movie. So we'll be doing our long form, once a month for version of it. So expect about a 3 hour long episode. We're going to shoot for about three. So you may have to listen to it on maybe more than one walk. We'll see how that goes for a little while. What about you? What do you have going on?
It's still Halloween month for the Joe Down. We just watched 1978's original Halloween movie. It's always a blast. John Carpenter is, as Brown pointed out, he's on our Mount Rushmore for the Joe Down. It's John Carpenter, John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, and Tommy Wiseau.
Oh God. Oh, that's a hell of a group there.
Isn't it though? Isn't it great?
It's isn't it something? Isn't it something?
Oh,
So yeah, I well, and then we do beers, beats, and bobbleheads together as well with Scott.
yep.
Yep.
What episode's coming out this week? I remember recording it. Let me see. I think it's Booze Cruise comes out this week.
Booze Cruise, I believe, comes out this week. Yes, I think you're right. Yeah.
Well, Michael, he's on medication, vomicillin.
Yeah. Yep. It was something. So um and then yeah, so we'll be doing that one. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot. Sorry, I don't mean to be spacey. This episode was like the most normal episode we've had in a while, I think.
Yeah, it's throwing us through a loop.
Yeah, because I mean, we're able to figure out right away, like, okay, that's a portal to a lodge. You're at the convenience store, all that stuff. So, I mean, we can obviously wonder why. I mean, I guess let's talk about this for a second. Why do you think they killed Hastings?
Uh, that's a good question. I don't see there being a good reason for that, considering he's already showed FBI, who's investigating these worlds anyway, where to find them. So that was just like it. To me, that was a weird choice, narratively speaking. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah. So I was recalling my mind. I was recalling the conversation that Hastings was telling Tammy in the prison. You know how there was a lot of people there, and they were killing them. I think that this has a lot to do with these are Mr. C's accomplices in a way. They're kind of working with Mr. C in keeping the chaos. That's how I'm viewing it, because of they already came and basically saved Bob, and that anyone that was associated with that place and could tell the secrets of it, they were going to kill.
Yeah, but Cole kind of saw that place. You know, it was a weird narrative thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it was a really cool shot, really interesting shot. But if they were going to kill Hastings to prevent that from being exposed, they probably should have done it in the prison, because we saw the woodsman in the prison in like episode 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. We did. Fuck. Yeah, it's a weird narrative for sure. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll never know. We will never know. But it's not everything Lynch Frost does has made sense. I mean, remember the world's worst business deal with Ghostwood?
I do remember the world's worst business deal with Ghostwood. So yeah, there is that.
Investors on property you don't even own.
Yeah, that's fucked up, isn't it? Yeah, you got a good point. You got a really good point there. So, yeah, I don't know. That's all I could think of was that one was why I think the Hastings was killed. So that's me.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, sir?
That is it. Again, this was like a pretty straightforward episode, which is kind of strange. Don't worry, it gets weird again, especially when we get into Audrey and Charlie. That's I think 2 episodes away.
Audrey's not 2 episodes away.
It's next episode.
It's next. That's why I was saying it's one of the episodes I remember.
All right.
So, yeah. Other than that, that's all I got.
Well, I guess that's it for our episode. I'm Joe Fremming from the Joe Down. You are, once again, Paul Muad'Dib from Cast That Movie. And until next time, let's rock.